The Smashing Machine is the new Benny Safdie project. On top of that, it's what people are calling The Rock's acting debut after a decade of trash that he's been in.
When he's distant, it's hard.
I'm sacrificing everything. What do you have for me that's strong?
Adubia?
A day without pain is like a day without sunshine.
The movie is based on the true story about Mark Kerr, one of the pioneers of the UFC, fighting for pennies compared to what they fight for today, as he tries to build himself and the industry to the mainstream while navigating drug addiction from the pain he endures physically and the heartache he suffers from internally from his toxic relationship with his girlfriend Dawn, played by Emily Blunt. This is a highly anticipated film for the audience and everyone involved. I know I was hyped for this by the first trailer, which made clear A24 knew how to make a sports movie that was digestible to the public while tackling all the depressing themes and sympathetically bad villains most sports movies don't touch with a 10-foot pole. There are stellar performances all around. Of course, you got The Rock, who really did put the show of his lifetime on with his portrayal of Mark Kerr. The makeup really helped transform him, with it working multiple points in his life, but only when he had hair either on his head or chin. When Mark Kerr was completely bald and shaven like he was in the latter half of the movie, he literally just looked like The Rock, especially the side profiles. But even if he didn't have the makeup and just played the character straight up, it still would have been his best performance ever. I'm sure his decades as a wrestler helped him sell the silent pain all fighters go through to keep their bodies running with as little pain as possible, because even though Kerr's a drug addict, he never seemed to be the lowlife kind, just a man trying to stay afloat after years of damage. And Emily Blunt is acting like she just lost her house and everything is on this movie, which is a shame because I don't think this movie does her relationship with Mark Kerr justice. Maybe that's because this film is based on a documentary from 2002 with the same name, and they only had so much information to work with, but it feels like there's a whole chunk of this movie where she's missing but needs to be there.
I just need you to let me in.
Always about you. Only about fucking you.
She plays the special brand of crazy girlfriend so well. You know the kind that threatens to kill themselves if you break up with them. She turns from sweet manipulator to yelling victim at the drop of a dime, making you feel like you have to tiptoe around her. And this toxicity is shown very clearly. Mark already keeps her at a distance from his work life, with his friends and peers thinking she's a bad influence to his mental health. And at home he has to keep her at arm's length due to his increasing use of morphine to numb his pain, at the consequence of numbing everything else around him. Dawn does save his life when he ODs, but that's only after she continually ignores all the signs around her that got him to that point in the first place. And when she does bring it up, she never goes the full length to support him in the way that he needs, because she thinks he might leave her and that's not what she wants. Though this has a double-edged sword, because she played this terrible girlfriend so well, I never saw what Mark saw in her. She was crazy, he had ample opportunities to leave her, and he does at one point, but he never seems to be gone for too long before they're both back in each other's arms. This became frustrating as the story played out, and maybe that was the point, but nobody in the film called Mark out on this. With Mark even marrying Dawn post the events of the movie, and they divorced only after 6 years. It was a relationship doomed from the start, and the movie shies away from Dawn too much in the second half that I never felt connected to the character, even if I understood where she was coming from. And the last performance I want to shout out is Bas Rutten, who plays Bas Rutten. I first saw him act when I was a kid all the way back in Here Comes the Boom, and I can definitely say his performance here was twisted. Rutten's acting chops really show when he has to express the pain he feels all the time with his injured arm from fighting. The way he dropped, looking like he had a stroke as he tries to breathe through the pain, taking the comfort of his peers while they soothe the pain any way they can. I don't know much about the UFC, but damn, did this movie make me feel bad that his career got cut short. I want to compliment the sound design too. The soundtrack wasn't amazing, but the sound design with the fights is where it was at. Whenever Mark is in his emotions and he has to fight, especially in the two big fights that he loses in, you get these smashing of chords. A guitar in the first fight, the chords being strummed violently, which each blow Mark takes, until the final one where it sounds like the guitar is being smashed to the floor. Or later on when he's caught up in his own head during a fight, piano chords seem to be pounded on before destroyed. It's like the music he heard while fighting, the rhythm he had in the ring, destroyed, smashed by his opponent. It was a really nice touch. And even though I had a decent time with this movie, overall I found the movie to be slightly boring. I never felt like I was in the ring with Mark when he was fighting. I can't put my finger on it just yet, but the way the camera was positioned never felt like it was close enough. And if I had to guess, it's because even though the actors did perform their own choreograph for the film, they had stunt doubles do the actual fighting scenes. Something like Iron Claw, though, did it right with having the main characters perform their own wrestling moves in the ring. It allowed them to really get in there and show them off without noticing it's fake. Who would have known that the wrestling movie would be more real than the UFC movie? The movie also feels like it tries to dip its toes in too many different subject material, and not a lot of it works. It goes for drug addiction, toxic relationships, brotherhood, motherhood, coping with loss, and it only nails a couple of them. The drug addiction is never shown enough for it to be a real impact on the audience. We see him injected once and him dozing off while watching TV, but they don't go the extra mile. They show Don calling Mark Coleman, played by Ryan Bader, but they don't even show Kurt Dean on the floor or anything, just him straight up in the hospital. And I get it, it's supposed to be tasteful, we're supposed to be engaged in Coleman and Kurt's deep conversation at the hospital, but The Rock still can't cry on camera despite his great performance here, having to cover his face every time he does it. And Ryan Bader also doesn't play Mark Coleman with a lot of charisma. Maybe that's because Coleman was like that in person, but it did not make for an entertaining character on screen. And to top it off, my theater experience was also one of the worst experiences I've ever had. When I showed up to the theaters, I noticed there was a lot of preteens for a Sunday evening, but I didn't think much of it. I got my popcorn and drink and went to theater 3, and of course, with my luck, it was the same group of 12 different 11-year-olds all in the top row. I gave them the benefit of the doubt at first, while they talked during the commercials and trailers, but then the movie started. And they wouldn't shut the fuck up. They were screaming, snapping pictures, moving around different seats the entire time, and I told them to shut the fuck up a bunch of times too. But I had to go full Karen and get the manager after one kid jumped on his chair, took off his shirt, and started swinging around, yelling and cheering. And the employees literally did nothing about it. Shame on Cineplex, and just in case by some small chance one of those kids ever see this video, fuck you and all your little shitty friends. You should be embarrassed. Overall, the Smashing Machine tries to deliver a knockout blow, but it just goes the distance, almost submitting to its faults and weak spots. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. A movie worth a watch if you're interested in seeing it, but if word of mouth is the only thing getting your butt to the theater, then I'd stay on the couch and wait for streaming.
The biggest night of my life!
Does he still have it in him? What happens next?
It's simple.
Get up, Mark, get
Am
up!
I going to hurt him
Let's fucking go.
before he hurts me?
Get up, Mark, come on!
Ready?
I think so.
Thank you all for watching. Make sure to hit that like button. I'll see you in the next one.